The Philadelphia Phillies are the 2024 National League East champions. Welcome back in to the Cherry Pinstripes podcast. We are rolling into October now. September baseball is almost done. This is the first time since 2011 that the Phils have won the division. It has been a long, stressful 13 years for diehard Phillies fans. We went through a low there in the early 2010s to the mid 2010s, and really even in the late 2010s after they got Bryce Harper. The beginning of this rebuild wasn't the cutest thing to watch on a day-to-day basis. The 2011 Philadelphia Phillies that won the division. This is how long it's been since the Phillies won the division. They ran out Carlos Ruiz, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Placido Polanco, Raul Ibanez, Shane Victorino, and Hunter Pence the last time this team won the division. That's how long it's been. Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, Roy Oswalt, Vance Worley. It was a Vanimal season the last time the Phillies won the division. You had Joe Blanton and Kyle Kendrick on that team. It's just crazy. It's been so long. But I love it. This team also, I want to say, I know the Braves had a lot going on down there. Obviously, you always want to beat teams at 100%. But I am not going to sit here and not credit this baseball team like they didn't go through their own adversity all season long, because they did. They battled through a lot of storms this season. Harper hit the IL. Realmuto hit the IL. Trey Turner missed almost 2 months. Ranger Suarez hit the IL and has looked like he has dead arm for the last couple of weeks. Jose Alvarado went on the IL. They brought Whit Merrifield in the offseason to eat up a lot of innings in left field, be a utility bat off the bench. He was so bad they had to waive him, and then the guy they traded for to fill that hole went on the IL. They've had all kinds of speed bumps along the way. Edmundo Sosa stepped up and played at a Trey Turner level while Trey Turner was out. Rafael Marchand had great moments when JT Realmuto was out. Obviously, Christopher Sanchez has stepped up huge for this team this season and has pitched like a 3 all year long, even when Ranger Suarez was out. Jose Alvarado went down. We made upgrades to the bullpen. This team from top to bottom has just been a good, deep, well-rounded baseball team from day one. They've plugged their holes, and guys have stepped up. It's been a really fun season. I'm excited for the postseason. And talking about fun, that celebration after they won the division the other night was absolutely bananas. Our friends, by the way, new friends, the Armentani brothers, I'm not 100% sure. We're on a first-name basis with them now. They came by the warehouse last week. They did get to check out some BB5, but they are responsible for the new playlist mix in the clubhouse for the celebrations. Dancing on My Own is featured in the mix. Did see some rambling on social media during the celebration that we're kind of beating a dead horse with the Dancing on My Own thing. It's in the mix. It's not the song of the postseason this year, though. You will hear it. Obviously, all the media members are going to keep whipping out their phones anytime they hear Dancing on My Own because they know they're going to get clicks on Twitter for it. But the mix is pretty long. Our friends came up with it. It's a Sunshine by Wookie mix. There's all kinds of fun stuff on that track. You got Trump lines, you got Kamala Harris lines, you got Jose Alvarado calling himself fat mixed in there. It's awesome. Garrett Stubbs running around in the overalls. That's why he's on the team. We had a lot of chatter when Rafael Marchand came up. Why is Garrett Stubbs even on the squad? This is why Garrett Stubbs is on the squad. Energy guy on the bench. Now, moving forward, we've won the division. They're playing for a bye. There's 4 baseball games left, and you have a very competitive and stressful series taking place between the Dodgers and the Padres right now. Phillies could potentially take this 1 seed going into the National League playoffs. We'll see. And the National League playoffs are about to be crazy. It's going to be a war zone in the National League. The Mets are playing great baseball. The Padres truly are the hottest team in baseball right now, and they seem to have like that magic. There's always that one team every year that has a little bit of magic. It's feeling like the San Diego Padres right now. Then, of course, you have the Dodgers who can out-hit their pitching woes. You have a Braves team that might sneak into the playoffs. They have a 3-headed monster at the top of their rotation at the very least. You got, obviously, Milwaukee and Arizona are battling for that last playoff spot. Whichever one of those 2 teams gets in, you absolutely never know. We've seen it in 2022. Things happen very fast. That first playoff run the Phillies went on in 2022, they didn't play well in September. They went into the postseason a little stagnant like they are right now. But what happened? The 9th inning of that first game against the Cardinals, Ryan Helsley choked. He could not throw his fastball for a strike. The Phillies rallied, and they got hot on that day. in the playoffs. They did not go into the playoffs playing well. They got hot in October. It can happen at any moment. Right now, it looks like it's the San Diego Padres. It could be the Phillies. And on the flip side of that coin, it can change overnight. I watched the Phillies throw a no-hitter in the World Series and then lose the next game. Baseball's weird. This team is deep. It doesn't matter who they play. The entire National League stacked. It's going to be a fun run, and hopefully it's a deep playoff run for our Phils. I would love to see them pick it up a little bit here once we get into October. But again, it can happen overnight. And we have a bunch of bodies that can be that spark plug. You can have that Gene Segura moment like we had in St. Louis to get the guys rolling. So we'll see. I'm excited. We don't know who we're going to play yet in the first round. We don't even know if we're going to, that first seed is still up in the air. So we'll see. The biggest question I have for the playoff roster moving forward is the third spot in the rotation. Ranger Suarez has a great reputation in the postseason. He steps up. He's nails. He's always been nails. No matter what the regular season looked like, in big games, Ranger Suarez has stepped up every step of the way. But he looks like he has dead arm right now. He's a few weeks removed from the injured list. He just doesn't look right. And right now, with where this team is, I think I'm riding Christopher Sanchez in that third game of the playoffs. He hasn't just had a good season. He's pitching great now. He's not getting tired as the season goes on. He seems to be getting better. His last 7 starts, 7 consecutive starts, he's gone 5 or more innings, given up 3 or fewer. He hasn't given up 4 runs since August 11th. August 11th was the last time he gave up 4 or more runs. And in those 7 starts, it was 2 or fewer in 6 out of 7. There's only 1 out of the 7 he even gave up 3. He's got one of the best changeups in baseball. Ranger just doesn't look right. I am extremely confident in this baseball team with Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez rolling into the playoffs. And then who knows, if you're in a 2-1 series, maybe you're confident rolling Ranger Suarez. Maybe Ranger Suarez just turns into that guy again. Maybe he's just nails again in a 4th game. Then you're going into this next round of the playoffs feeling really confident because you got 4 guys. Right now, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Christopher Sanchez as the 3. We'll see what we have from Ranger. Obviously, he's going to be on the playoff roster. He's going to get an opportunity to pitch, but I do think I'm pushing Christopher Sanchez above him going into October. So, yeah, it goes. He's got to start tonight. He'll be going against the Cubs tonight, so he'll have a chance to solidify that role. If he has a bad start tonight, maybe it's a different conversation tomorrow, but we'll see. We are past the hangover game. The voice went nuts. This year's hangover game was different than the last few because the last few, obviously, when the Phillies clinched their playoff spot, it was for the wild card. So once they got there was nothing else they could achieve. Now, this year, they won a division. They could still get the 1 seed. So they got to keep winning. The hangover game featured starters. Bryce Harper in that start got his 30th homer, by the way. Bryce Harper. Shout out Bryce Harper getting his 30th homer. We'll circle back to that in a little bit. But yeah, this team, the hangover game was not good. Should be a little bit rejuvenated today for this last game of the series against the Cubs. And then you get a final series to end the season against the Washington Nationals. We do not know what the pitching rotation is going to be for that. They're obviously going to try and line things up so that they have Wheeler, Nola, and whoever 1, 2, 3 come playoff start. But there's going to be a bye week mixed in there as well, so we'll see. We don't know who the Nationals are going to see on the mound, but I would like to see Aaron Nola get one more start because he's 6 innings from 200, 10 strikeouts from 200. Zach Wheeler is 6 1/3 from 200 innings. So maybe those 2 guys, our dogs, get one more start each, round their seasons off, and look pretty good. Now, speaking of that 1 seed, how much does it even matter? I was having this conversation on Twitter earlier today, too. Obviously, if they're facing the Dodgers in the NLCS, it will matter. But as I just referenced, there are so many good teams in the National League right now. I not only wouldn't be shocked if the Dodgers don't even get there, I'm leaning San Diego in that series now. The Phillies might get the 1 seed and the home field advantage in the NLCS without ever seeing the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is a very realistic possibility. This is not one of those playoff years where it's like, I don't know how anyone's going to beat these top 2 seeds. It is the opposite. It is looking very spicy down there in the wild card, and those teams are playing hot, and they're playing good teams down the stretch, and they're performing. So we'll see how that goes. The 1 seed may not even matter, but we have a lot of fun stuff to pay attention to over these last couple of games as we wind down the season and go into the postseason. Bryce Harper, like we said, he had his 30th home run in the hangover game. He is 3 RBI short of hitting the 90 RBI mark, and he's currently sitting at a 903 OPS. So he's looking to keep that OPS over 900 on the season. Of course, he missed 20 games with the injured list, so he could have been 100 RBI season. He's been great this year, even in that 30-game drought where he didn't homer. Held the 900 OPS all the way through. Got the doubles. I think he's over 45, about 45 doubles now in the season. Was always hitting. You got Kyle Schwarber, still on the 40 home run hunt. He's just 2 away. 4 games. One of them he might get rested, especially if the last game of the season, the 1 seed isn't up in the air. So he might have 2-3 games to get this done. Kyle Schwarber needs 2 homers for 40, and you know he's playing for it. That's all he's playing for right now, trying to get this 1 seed hit 40 bombs. Trey Turner has 19 homers, so he's 1 short of 20. Alec Boehm is 5 RBIs away from 100. Nick Castellanos is 5 RBIs away from 90. He's also 1 double short of 30. A career doubles guy who's going to be way up there on the doubles list when his career's over, looking to have another 30 double season. JT Realmuto has only played 96 games this season. He's 1 hit shy of 100. We have a 492 slugging percentage for Kyle Schwarber, so he's looking to get that. If he can get those 40 homers, the slugging percentage will also finish over 500. Trey Turner and Brandon Marsh on the 20 stolen base hunt. Trey Turner with 19, Brandon Marsh with 18. And as previously noted, Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler could both get over the 200-inning, 200 strikeout line if they get one more start. And our guy, Christopher Sanchez, who will have an obvious career high in innings at the end of the season, is 1 strikeout away from 150, so he's going to get that done tonight. He's going to finish around 180 innings pitched. That's insane. I think he's at 170. Pull this up real quick. Christopher Sanchez has been amazing this season. I am interested in those innings. Christopher Sanchez has 177 innings. So, yeah, if he goes 3 innings tonight, he hits the 180 mark. That's incredible, man. A guy that they picked up off of waivers from the Cincinnati Reds. And this team, I've said this on the podcast before, the Phillies don't usually do this. When the Phillies have a hole and they can't seem to fill it, they buy it. I have no issue with it. Never have. They don't usually do this. This is a Tampa Bay Rays move right here. And I love to see that. Christopher Sanchez gets it done. Now we're going to talk about our dog of the week. Has to be Bryce Harper. Has to be Bryce Harper. Gets the 30 homer mark. Shirtless Bryce Harper running around in the clubhouse. Great interviews, firing me up. He is the leader of this team. He's having a great second half of the season. Again, had the 30-game homer drought, but was hitting great all through it. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball this season when healthy. 30 homer mark once again. He's got a couple more milestones he's going for. He is our dog of the week as we finish up the season here. I'm excited. Postseason's right around the corner. Last note, by the way, the postseason helmets. We see the sponsors and the ads, man. They're like huge. They take up the whole helmet. I hate it. The ads on the helmets are going to drive me nuts. So there's the one thing don't be shocked. If you haven't heard that news yet, do not be shocked by the gigantic Strauss on the side of the Phillies helmets for the playoffs. I'm not a fan, but Bryce Harper's our dog of the week. The Phillies have won the National League East. We don't know who they're playing yet. We don't know what the bye week situation is going to be. We don't know what the 1 seed situation is. There's a lot that's going to be fizzled out here in the last 4 games of the season. Lots of milestones that could be hit by our guys. I'm going to be back next week. We're going to start breaking down every single playoff series here on the channel. We're going to move from 1 podcast a week to a podcast after every series. Hopefully we have multiple series. We will be covering the entire offseason here as well. So follow along on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're posting. Follow the Phils. It's been fun, and there's a lot more fun baseball to come. See you guys in the next one. Go Phils.